Hey, Parlay Pete, you know my favorite thing to do?
Pod with me.
Yes, but you know my favorite thing to do when I'm potting with you
What's that?
is to go through a whole pre-production meeting and then open it up with a topic that I didn't tell you about.
I love a good surprise.
What happened yesterday?
And
What did we start celebrating yesterday?
Pride. No,
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
even though today's the first. Today is technically.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot it's Friday. I'm in my I was looking at date, not looking at day. Yeah, it's Friday.
Okay. Today, technically. I get what you're saying, but that's why I was like, Pride.
I'm glad you're prideful about it. Um here's
Wouldn't
here's
have it
my
any other way.
here's my thing about pride. Good for you. Uh just like pretty much every other month around here. Doesn't change my day. Celebrate as you please. Have at it. Have you seen the ultra conservatives calling to boycott the companies who are observing Pride Month?
I have. I've seen um, a baseball player to a degree do it, even though he didn't directly say it.
Well, no, he can't. He works for a union.
That, and then in reality, he's got gay fans too. So, and then even there was a Chick-fil-A thing too. I don't know if you saw that.
No, is Chick-fil-A standing with Pride?
Now, you know how Chick-fil-A is. Chick-fil-A was petty as hell one day. I forgot. It was like a Pride Day or some shit.
Uh-huh.
And they were giving out free chicken sandwiches. And the line was, around the building. I know the Caden niggas. I know that the LGBTQ plus community loves Chick-fil-A too. You know what I mean? Just like there's straight and gay people that don't like Chick-fil-A. There are people that don't like Chick-fil-A. But I know that plenty of that community likes Chick-fil-A.
I got a question for you though. So you know how we culturally appropriate Cinco de Mayo and St. Patty's Day,
Mm-hmm.
and people say they're going to culturally appropriate Juneteenth. Can we culturally appropriate Pride Month?
Is it really a month though? Like, it feels so forced and so new. And I'm not saying that it won't necessarily become the norm and how Black History Month is this thing in February, I guess. But like, is it really something? What are we celebrating? I guess is what it is. Are we celebrating the fact that gays can live their life? Like, I guess I'm trying to figure out what is this celebration about.
I assume that it's the same. It's like very similar to Black History Month, right? We are celebrating the advances made in the community, the level of acceptance that we perceive to be increased. I say perceived to be increased because I don't know if the black situation has gotten better, like post slavery. I mean, post integration, uh, and raising awareness and educating people in a more open, comfortable form because it's your time now. You know how when someone's getting married, you can't really bother them like that day. It's like their day.
Yeah, and like how it is with women for their birthdays and stuff.
Well, they try to take off the whole month. So yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
like, yeah.
So yeah, I think maybe it's that time to raise awareness and education, and good and bad. I think we learn from the stuff, right? Like seeing the people who are just super outraged by it, it goes, dude, what in your day is actually changing because you see a little bit more rainbow flags around here, you know? It's just Memorial Day. Memorial Day we can just pass, and there were American flags painted all over the South. Like I didn't know this was fucking America.
And there are people that hate the way that our country's ran.
Exactly. So I just don't care about pride, man. And not that it's a negative thing. I just
It's not for me.
Yeah, like what LeBron said after the 2011 finals, I'm gonna wake up and go live my life, and then you're gonna go back living your life.
Right. And my biggest stance on it is the way I live my life, and I'm not gay. So like I don't have any problem with gays, but I'm not. So if I'm not gay, like, doesn't that tell you kind of how I feel about it?
I mean,
like in a weird way, like isn't that kind of, or maybe it's not weird at all. Like, doesn't that kind of tell you how I feel about it?
Yeah, here's where it gets funny, right? I think I sent this post to the group because somebody sent me like a super conservative page to follow recently, and he was like, "Hey man, you should follow this page for content." And it was talking about don't press your beliefs on me, right? And you have like the person like it was like a guy in rainbow and heels and looking super feminine, and then it's like a Bible beater that he's talking to, and it's so funny that oftentimes the rebellion is the same behavior as the person that you are rebelling against. Like y'all are both doing the same thing with a different set of beliefs. Like, hey, we don't want trans people drag shows for kids at schools. Well, I don't want the Bible read at school. Well, that's our beliefs. They're ours. Well, we're right. No, actually, we're right. You're wrong, And it becomes one of those things. What are you actually? Hold on. So you're just mad that your belief system is not being the one that's propped up? All right, dog. You got it.
Jay-Z said it best, and I think that everybody talks about having that dog in them, right? That's like a positive saying now, having that dog in you. Jay-Z said it best.
Back-to-back champs.
Yeah, yep, that dog on you. And I'm going to wait for the whole did, but Jay-Z said it best. I'm like a dog. I don't speak, but I understand. We should be more like dogs. We should not speak as much on stuff, listen and understand, and that kind of be it. Like, you know what I mean? We don't really always, what a lot of people fail to realize is that there's a time and a place for everything, of course, but like, we don't have to always speak on everything. Sometimes it's okay to just let things be and to observe, and whether you silently disagree or silently agree, you don't necessarily have to say anything about it. And now look, this is not the same thing as watching somebody have a police officer put their knee on their neck or something, to where, or somebody's at the airport, where apparently this happens a lot because they announce it a lot, to where if you see something, say something. These aren't those examples. These are like things that will exist and that have existed for forever. And we kind of just continue to drag it out and make it a bigger deal than probably what it should be and what it will be.
Well, if that happened, then, we'd probably have to cancel this podcast, close out our social medias, and Elon would have wasted a lot of money on Twitter.
But that's why, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but that's why this is the time and the place for us to actually say it, though. That's why I said there's a time and a place for it all. But if I'm out at the airport, I don't have to call somebody. I see something, and these are not my beliefs, and I'm sorry, I guess, for even saying that. But like,
bro, real quick, I'm gonna cut you off.
I could drop a ton of words here.
How bad is it that somebody could take that one block and then flip it 5,000 ways to call you not transphobic, or homophobic, by saying, for example, if I say this, I am now that. And it's like, no, bro, I was using the example. The same way that Joe Rogan used the N-word, that hardly anybody who was black who listened to Joe Rogan was really offended by. You get like, poor taste. But all right, nigga, keep going, nigga.
Or like my man with the Oakland A's, who said Nigger League Museum, and it's like, obviously he could have said, clearly that's not the word he should have said, but like, what difference does it really make? I'm not trying to be funny, but like Negro is this. It's because that was the proper name of it, but in reality, I mean, is it not the same thing? It really, I get it ain't the same thing, but like it is the same thing. Negro, nigga, and nigger are the same fucking word. They're just said differently. There's different. They're almost like it's almost like having a conjugation of a word in a weird way. And but the conjugation itself is not the first, second, or third person. It's more or he or she. It's more of a race, like a race conjugation for it in a weird way. Like,
bro, that's.
I know that was weird how I put it, but I'm just saying.
It's mind blowing, right? Because
it's the same fuck word. It really is.
Nigga, nigger, Negro.
If a black person said, man, yeah, he's like, that's that nigga baseball, that nigga league. If a nigga says that, nobody is gonna get upset, even though Negro is the proper term. Nobody would be upset
at all.
No, if they said nigger league, nobody's get upset. It's because it was a white dude and he works for the professional baseball. And knowing that he works professional baseball, he knew that it was the Negro League. Now, how he slipped up, I don't know, but he slipped up at the end of the day. It happened.
You know probably.
Do you think he should have lost his job for that? By the way, just quickly.
I don't know.
I think he should have got suspended, and I think that should have been the end of it.
I don't know what the backlash was if anybody threatened to pull money away.
Now, at this point, you can't make no mistakes no more.
Right, but if we're looking at the principle of it, probably not. Hey, I'm going to bring you in here. I'm going to give you a hefty suspension and fine. You're going to feel this, boss, if I can say that during Pride Month. But like, no, dog. Like, have you been in trouble before? Are you good? You know, like, because it happened at Barstool. The guy was rapping a song and he said the N-word, and because whatever.
David Portnoy.
Yeah, because he sold
that racist. He's the racist.
And that was the thing. Like he ended up firing the guy, and he tells the Stoolies, "Hey man, I didn't want to do this, but the company did it, and I stand with this guy." I mean, a little bit, but I don't totally stand with him because I still my shit. You know, yeah, but yeah, Portnoy's a racist, so maybe back in Paris.
He's he's the racist. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
even listening to his explanation, because I got bored and listened to the whole thing, I go, Portnoy, you sound super racist as you're trying to explain why this guy isn't racist, but two totally different situations. But in this whole thing we're talking about, right, not being able to make mistakes, standing with people, I sent that post to the group about the guy sending the text. He sent the racist text, and then the girl had to like speak out against it. And I sent it to
on the plane.
Yeah, I sent it to like multiple groups and people who I communicate on Instagram. And the response I got was actually shocking, because I'm like, yo, this broad is stupid. Like, we're policing thoughts now. Like, hey, this was a private conversation. You're eavesdropping. That's like when your phone gets raided by a woman and you go, hold on. No. This did not happen. You invaded my privacy. Well, but you were doing this. What I did is inadmissible because you did not have a warrant for this information.
Correct.
And I looked at that the same way. I'm like, dog, he sent a text. You know how much foul shit people say in text that may not be reflective of the character that they display? Like, yo,
the character or even the backstory or meaning truly of the text to begin with.
I say a bunch of fucked up shit, but I don't mistreat people.
I could call a woman a bitch and it not even be me calling them really a bitch. And somebody would be like, man, this guy is, you know, against women. Like, I don't know, like, you know what I mean? But because you don't know the context of the text or the relationship between me and said person, how do you know what how do you know what I meant by that? Or, we do this even as men do it all the time. And I'm not going to drop the F-bomb again, but we could call each other what would be considered a gay slur. And maybe not that word, but something else.
Bro, we call each other we could call each other all types of fucked up shit. And in the context of the conversation that we're having, nobody cares. Like, nobody cares.
But if somebody looks over and reads it, it's just like, he's a bully. He just called him a punk bitch. Like, nobody's gonna understand because you don't know the context in reality.
If one of these,
you just see a message. And
now think about if one of these sensitive snowflakes, let's police everyone's thoughts. You can't have bad thoughts. Just took a read in the locker room on a good Tuesday afternoon where nobody's at work. One of those days, like nobody's at work,
there's a lot of alcohol going on.
Yeah, everyone's drunk. They're not paying attention to their women or kids. You're just bored and drunk. You will see some terrible shit in that group text. And you'll go, these guys are deplorable. Then you can show up the next day and see all of these separate guys at work being great professionals, great fathers, great husbands, great boyfriends, great leaders of men and women. And you go, well, I just read these things that you said, but they're not reflective in your actual actions. It's like,
right.
Yeah, dog. I can say I fucking hate my wife when I'm pissed off at her, but I'll never tell her I fucking hate her and I'm not about to leave her.
And more importantly, even if you say it, you probably don't even mean it. You just could be upset or disappointed or whatever in that moment. And you don't really mean it. You're just letting out a frustration. And maybe that's your best way of letting it out by not saying it to her, but expressing it to somebody else and not truly meaning it. You just want to get out I have such a negative feeling towards this right now, man. I hate this. What I mean? It doesn't mean that you really hate her. It doesn't mean that she's a bitch. It doesn't mean any of that stuff.
Now think about this. If and I'll use myself as an example. I hop in the locker room one day and I say, man, my wife is really upsetting me. This lady's just grinding my gears. You know what?
I just wish that there was some way she could go away.
Yeah, or I just need her to take a hike for a little while. Or
take a hike.
Hey, this bitch is tripping.
Right.
God damn. What the fuck I do this time?
Right.
Niggas look at that shit. Oh yeah, his wife's done pissed him off.
Right.
He was in the locker room too much. She wanted some attention, and so now he's back in the locker room because he wasn't giving her attention. Yeah, that sounds about right.
He's been gone a day.
Niggas like to double fumble.
Right. Hey, he just reposted his third post that we've already talked about in here, and we've had to put the police on him because we've seen this thing 3 times. But that's because he had to stay away today.
Well, y'all already know when the police is on me, I've been in husband mode like crazy. You'd be like, dog, this has been in there. Dog, I've been hanging out with my fucking wife, dog. My bad. Right. I just opened up the app for the first time.
My daughter,
Yeah.
We've been enjoying air. I have been phoneless pretty much today,
Have you?
No, I'm saying that's what,
it's
I'm not looking at my phone. I'm living life. I promise.
And because you go down.
There's so much that went on to where I didn't even read all of it. I just saw this now because I'm just now getting on social media, and I figured y'all might have talked about it, but I don't know if you did.
So I hadn't even checked the DMs yet. I just saw the post pop up, and my feed hasn't even refreshed in 4 hours.
Right. This says 6 hours ago.
Oh shit! John Moran got caught with guns again.
Right.
Anyways, we've done 20 minutes on not
important conversation though.
No, it was a very important conversation. Because hey, you snowflakes, you thought you people try to control free thought. Damn the people try to control free speech. Like whatever, dog. Like niggas want to make money, so you gonna fall in line for at some point.
Right.
We're trying to control how people think and not allowing people to, I had this post in my memories. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick because it's so relevant to what we're talking about. Because now Instagram like tells you your memories, but I don't see it. I'm not going to look too hard for it. But the point of it is it's not a it's we're not. Don't be mad if somebody shows up to the party after you get there. Like after you get there, just be happy that they're finally there. Like, hey, dog. Some of us learn different. It took some people 14 years to get from K through 12 and others 13. It took some people 3.5 years to graduate from undergrad and some people 7. Let me be honest with you. Once you get the piece of paper, nobody cares how long it took. You got the paper. So all of us aren't going to be as enlightened and woke and as you all are. We're not going to know the stuff that we should know, but we'll never learn if you don't let us express what we don't know. Like, let me be stupid, let me be ignorant, so then you can educate me. Because if I'm always just saying what I'm supposed to say, you will never actually teach me what I need to know.
All right.
Speaking of what you need to know, how do you stop Joker? Game 1. Miami lost by 11. Was it 104-93?
9 was the spread.
Yeah, I told you to take heat on the points. I didn't expect Jimmy to
kind of lay a dud. Probably his worst game of the playoffs, I'd say. I'd say this was his worst game of all playoffs.
Yeah. I know Spo is playing chess, but I don't know. This game left me. So I missed the entire second quarter. I watched first quarter. I got out of class, left the office, went to the house. Wife was watching a movie. Some movie on Netflix with Nia Long was actually kind of interesting. And
really? You mean Ime's
X?
Yes.
/
baby mama.
That too. But and the daughter was still awake, so I wasn't like, hey, turn on the effing game, or I'm gonna go back and watch the game because I've been gone. Like, I haven't seen my wife and daughter since Monday. Today's my first day back, so I'm like, let me spend the family time. Like, this movie's kind of good, so I'm watching it and hanging out with them. So I missed the second quarter, but like throughout the entire game, I said the lead is smaller than it looks. But then watching Miami's execution, it's like Miami didn't take a lot of easy shots until the fourth quarter. They were taking contested mid-range shots. Okay, 3 off the dribble, not off the clean catch. They weren't getting layups and dunks.
Well, and a lot of that typically comes from the hustle, right? Like, but the biggest thing to me, what I thought, if there was one thing I noticed, they kind of closed out a little strong in the fourth quarter. I thought they played significantly better. That was their best quarter.
Yeah.
Fatigue is kind of like really the one thing I can kind of point out. Now, that could be a combination of they're the ones that weren't rested and were playing all these games, plus the idea of playing in that altitude in Denver maybe had something to do with it too. It just was fatigue. They looked fatigued, and it doesn't help when a guy like Max Strus, I think, was 0 for 9, had no points. You've been depending on guys like him, Gabe Vincent, and
Caleb Martin.
Yeah. These have been the guys coming through. Dunk the highest paid undrafted player in NBA history. You've been depending on these guys, really, because Jimmy's been Jimmy and Bam has somewhat been Bam the entire time. So it's been these guys that have kind of been putting you over top. It's Spo going Spo.
Let me give you – okay, here we go. Jimmy was 6 for 14. I want more than 14 shots, Jimmy.
Yeah, like 13 points.
Yeah, 13 points. Like, I just want more shots, dude. Like, Caleb Martin, 1 for 7. Bam, 13 for 25. I like the aggression. I would like a better percentage. And Bam took a lot of hard shots. But he still played good. 26, 13, and 5. And I don't know how you play good defense on Joker, but yeah.
Tristan Thompson, actually, they had him on ESPN. Hear me out.
Okay.
I thought in game 4, he did play the best defense on him that I've seen in the postseason. He's putting a fucking body on him.
Yes.
That is, you're not going to necessarily stop him. Put a goddamn body on him. Make it as hard. Make him work for his points, please, or his assists. Be aggressive with him. Right.
Here's the thing.
You don't want to foul out of the game, but you need to have a plethora. Like in a series like this, a guy like in a weird way, a big like Biombo.
No. He's not strong. You need Dwight Howard. Like here we go. We're all over the place, right? The Dwight Howard post that came out about prime Jokic or prime Dwight. Jokic.
It's not even a question.
No. Hear me out real quick. Prime Jokic, far more skilled. No question about it at all. Offensively, Dwight can't lick the dirt off of his cleats, okay?
Yep.
But that matchup going head to head is totally different than
it's not as lopsided as it is their talents.
Exactly, because Dwight is strong enough to guard Jokic.
And athletic enough to move.
Athletic enough to go side to side. When Jokic set those screens, Dwight can actually hedge and still get back. And Dwight's a more twitchy athlete than like an AD, to where that behind the head thing, Dwight might tip it. And Dwight, it's
but is Dwight out there on the perimeter with him?
Yes, the biggest thing is Dwight has the strength that even though Jokic has that wide back, Dwight's not moving. Everyone else is moving.
Well, Jokic has that wide back, and Dwight's got those wide shoulders.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
The Lakers needed Dwight. They needed 39. Like I know we're not talking about the Western Conference Finals, but the Lakers needed 39 in that series.
And you talk about it as if, you know, like you said, you look at it where you say prime versus prime. Let's not forget, prime Dwight Howard is also an elite defender. He's an elite defender. Look, I mean, AD's an elite. He's a pretty elite. In his prime, he's an elite defender. Bam's a pretty fucking good defender. But neither of them are defensive player of the year. Dwight Howard's a 3-time defensive player of the year. And he's not a Rudy Gobert 3-time defensive player of the year, if that makes any sense. His defensive player of the year was a lot different. Outside of being a rim protector, he changed the complexion of games.
Dwight will give you a smooth 20 and 20.
Right, to go with his 4 blocks.
Yeah. Like, I think because Dwight's a goofball and he decided to get sleeves and dreads at 35.
People had the sleeves, though, in Orlando?
No, I mean
the tattoos.
Yes.
Oh,
I think that, and again, he's a goofball. That he's just not well received, so he's not covered like he should be. But like what Dwight Howard was a All NBA, first team All NBA player. Dwight Howard was one of the best players in the NBA at a given time. In 09.
If Cam Newton's prime was longer, him and Dwight Howard are the same people.
Yeah,
both from here.
Atlanta niggas that the media don't like because
they're goofy though. They're funny motherfuckers. Like they were always them dudes. Like for real. They were cool without being good at sports. Exactly.
Like LeBron,
they were just cool dudes.
LeBron ain't cool without being good at sports.
Right. He's the ball player. To where it's just, I'm gonna laugh, bro, because you the best nigga like ever.
Gilbert Arenas, that nigga's funny. He's just a funny nigga. Like
Right.
Fuck being good at basketball. Like, no, the nigga's funny. Shaq, Chuck, them niggas are funny. Basketball may be in the extra juice that puts shit over the top. But you sit with Charles Barkley, he is taking over whatever bar you go to as a personality. And it has nothing to do with him being a top 10 power forward of all time. And I'm sure that list is small. I'm just saying top 10, so I'm not wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's what Dwight was.
Exactly. He just
But he
wasn't.
was also a top 75 player of all time. Whether they didn't put him on there or not, the people that watch basketball know that he's on that list over AD. AD just hadn't. I mean,
And
AD
Dame.
hadn't proved enough. He hadn't had a full career yet.
And Dame. I love Dame and him.
I love Dame too, and Dame shouldn't be on that list either. Not over Dwight Howard. He should.
Yeah,
and maybe I'm sure there's some 60 guys maybe that shouldn't have been on there either over Dwight. But we'll just go off the guys we know we saw, and that we've seen their entire careers.
So here's something like I had the notes to get to later, but we might as well get here now. Because I said on this podcast for probably 2 years, you can't win playing through a big man. You can't win playing through a big man.
They don't play through that, motherfucker. They do.
But with Jokic, you can. And for one, he's a 3-level scorer. He has a legit post game.
Mid-range.
He has a floater game. He has a mid-range game. He can shoot the tray ball.
Putbacks. He's a pretty good free throw shooter.
Good free throw shooter. Good
He's
rebound.
the best player in the league. And I think we just all can. After they win, I think we can all truly, honestly admit it.
Bro,
if there's honestly the best player in the league, and I know it feels like after Giannis won, we were saying the same thing because he had a 50-point game 6. Yeah. No, man. Jokic is a much more complete player than him.
We said Giannis was the best player in the league because we had to, because he had the 2 MVPs. He finally won the championship. He had the 50-piece, and he had the free throws. But let's be real. Like, we still be like, wait, Giannis can't shoot. Jokic can shoot. Like, we don't want a nigga to be the best player in the league if they can't shoot.
I'm glad you're not hating on him like you kind of used to be.
No, because I didn't think that Jokic consistently was putting it together like this to this point. Like he is unstoppable. When I watch him,
his team his last 2 years. The bubble was the last time them niggas were all together. That's the thing. That is the thing. And they just weren't healthy, bro. Like they have not been healthy.
Jamal, I will say Jamal Murray has been more consistent since the Western Conference Finals have started.
25-10 tonight.
Exactly. He's been more consistent since game 1 of the Western Conference Finals than he ever has in his entire career. You look at his back to his bubble where he went crazy. He still had bad games. He has not had a bad game, I want to say, since maybe round 2. But I know round 1 he had a couple bad games in round 1. But like since they started playing the Lakers, no bad games, and that's not who Jamal Murray has been. And I've always said,
Jamal
Murray, like he's gonna go fucking 14 for 16 one day and bust your head for 35.
And they held a 5 of 22 type night.
Exactly. He hasn't had the 5 of 22 yet. So that's why I look at him differently. But back to the Jokic piece and the big man, the NBA has gotten rid of big men defenders. Oh, He can't shoot. He can't shoot. We got to have shooters on the court. For one, if you have 3 shooters on the court, you should be able to find your shots if your big man is useful. But when you take real bigs off the court, I mean, Bam is 6'9", 225, 230 maybe? Jokic is a legit 7 foot, 280 on his ass. He can't guard him. Like, there aren't big bodies to challenge his positioning on the court. So he can get where he wants to, and he's skilled enough to get the shots off. But if you put a Rick Smits out there, some of them Oak types, just some girth and length, it just makes him getting to the spot he wants to that much more difficult. And that
exactly. I was about to say, get him off his spot.
Yes.
Yeah, like you know what I mean? Don't let this be easy for him because the offense does, he facilitates the offense. He's the facilitator. Even though he's not the point guard, that's why he fucking averages triple. He's the facilitator. He's the best passer on the team. So they run the offense through him. It's like he has this combination of and forgive me for bringing up the Lakers, but like of kind of how Powell was when they had a healthy Bynum. Like Powell was a great, terrific big man passer. Like Powell would average 5, 4, 5 assists game just sitting at the top key doing a high-low game or, you know, Ron's open, Trevor's open, Kobe, of course, Fish open. He easily get 5, 6 assists in a game off some shit like that. Lamar, whatever, you know, give and go. Like all this shit. Jokic not only can do that type of stuff, but Jokic will be handling the ball, pick it up, and because he's so tall and can do that shit, shoot the shot like that, or give it to somebody and give it right back to him. Somebody's cutting to the basket. Bruce Brown's wide open for a layup because nobody's expecting him to score points anyways. And he's going to get paid too, by the way.
Can I tell you the biggest reason why I don't – 2 reasons why I don't want Denver to win.
Okay. Give me reason 1.
The Jokic blowfest. Yeah, like it's great. It's the whole Great White Hope thing because I don't foresee there being another great American white basketball player who can take over the league, but the media is still dominated by American white men, so they cling.
They have to hang their hat on it.
They hang their hats on the Euros, and that's what Kendrick Perkins was talking about in the MVP conversation, and that got missed in the coverage of it because the people he was talking about were the people who were covering his comments on it.
Was Larry Bird the last great white American basketball player? Great, not good, great.
Yes.
That's so long ago. God, I mean, Larry Bird hasn't played in 30 years.
Tyler Hero is the best white American basketball player in the league right now.
Currently.
Yeah, he's a 6 man. Even though he starts now, he's a 6 man. Nope, bro. No one
between Larry Bird and him, who has been the best white NBA player that everybody was like, boy, that boy is cold. JJ Redick, I know coming out of college was kind of one of the guys that, in which he's still a relevant player. That was, and he wasn't great. JJ Redick was a good shooter, but like
he's a high end role player. Good IQ, played harder, could shoot the 3.
Could be a starter, but was a role player. Yeah.
We're talking about Ryan Anderson, man. We're talking about
Ryan Anderson. He's talk about forgotten basketball players. Tom Gugliotta.
Talking Mike Dunleavy Jr., man.
Damn. Has it been? I'm just Jason Williams, maybe.
But they didn't like him because his style. He wasn't great.
Give me white chocolate, baby. But I'm just trying to think. Let me just think. Hold on, because I know we got one white player.
Christian.
There's got to be one. Who the fuck's made an all-star team?
Maybe one of the Berries.
None of them are great. Let me see. I'm gonna type in white.
Hey, what's up, Castro? No, we're not. See, Dirk. He was German. He's a European. We're talking about American-born white guys. Not. You can't be from Canada. You can't be from.
Man. I mean, the last white American All-Star was Brad Miller. And think about Brad Miller. I mean, that's 2004. Yeah, Larry's the last guy.
Check the last white American to be drafted first overall.
Gordon Hayward could somewhat fall under him, and Kevin Love are 2 white guys that are white players that, like Kevin Love. Is Kevin Love like a Hall of Famer? Like, I don't know. Like, maybe he's like borderline.
He would have been
so great before he went to Cleveland anyways.
He played in Minnesota. He's a Hall of Famer.
But him going to Cleveland also is really good. And he's turned out to be a great role player. I don't know what the fuck he did tonight, but like he's turned out to be a pretty good role player too.
Kevin Love, DNP coach's decision. Him and UD, they hung out together today.
Doug McDermott, Cody Zeller, Jimmer Fredette, Adam Morrison. Like,
yeah.
Last white number 1 overall pick. I don't fucking know. That's like a.
Oh, we got Austin Reeves.
Yeah, Austin. You could argue. Now, look, it's been 1 year, but if he can duplicate what he did in the postseason / end of this year for next year, I would argue he's better than Tyler Hero. In my opinion,
I think his game is better than Tyler Hero's. It's physical.
It's so much more fluid,
and he plays hard.
Tyler Hero feels like he jacks up shots a lot.
Austin Reeves, yeah, I don't like Tyler Hero's game.
Yeah, Austin Reeves is like a player you can play around with through.
And here's another
thing. His role. He's like he knows his role type player.
And I could be totally wrong here. Austin Reeves comes off as a white guy who hangs out with white guys, cool with his black teammates. Man.
Boomer Sooner.
Yeah, good at bat. He just happens to be really good at basketball.
Yeah.
I don't think
he still goes to the bars with all the white kids.
Yeah, dive bars. He probably not an ad. He probably packs these now because he's not packing dips. You know, Tyler Hero, he doesn't have white friends outside of Jack Harlow.
And Jack Harlow doesn't have white friends outside of Tyler Hero.
They're like the cool white boy that might try a little bit too hard, but because Jack Harlow makes good songs and Tyler Hero is a bucket. Yeah, that's my white boy.
He's Dave, and he's Little Dicky and Dave. Have you ever seen Dave, the show?
No.
Okay. It's like the white Atlanta, I guess. But
white people live in Atlanta? That's a joke.
No, yeah. It's like comparing, because like Nashville is like white Atlanta. So like
they say Denver's white Atlanta.
It feels more like Nashville. I've been to Denver. I mean, you've been to Denver. I'm
going to Denver.
Denver. I don't know if Denver is white Atlanta. Nashville feels more like white Atlanta.
I haven't been to Nashville in now almost 10 years. But they say that I saw a meme that was like Denver is to white people what Atlanta is to black people. And I think the point being is, you know, if you talk to white people about Atlanta who've like really never been, I don't get what people like about Atlanta. Like, I mean, the airport's busy, the traffic sucks, like there's no beach. I go, it's booty, nigga. Have you seen that ass in the strip club?
It's booty, and you walk around, and there's so many other niggas like you, I guess. I don't know, like that do well. I don't know what else.
Yeah, it's
whether they're scamming or not, they're all doing well. Or at least they're faking it really hard, and it's working in terms of what it appears to be. You're doing a good job faking that shit.
Yeah, and it's
because we all know how expensive it is. So
it ain't cheap no more, nigga.
Yeah, so if you doing it, you doing it. Like
they've opened up an apartment, this new apartment complex in Cartersville, and I was told today that they got 1 bedrooms going for $1,700. Hey, dog, we're 36 miles out the city.
In Cartersville, 1,700.
Yes, we're not supposed to be that suburban yet.
This shouldn't be that high because so I was literally out in Swanee today. One of our contracts, probably our biggest contract. The guy, man, that we've known, the director, he's the head dude of all the warehouse that we do. He's retiring tomorrow. Tomorrow's his last day. And he's been with the company for 28 years. And so they had his retirement party to this. We were at a lunch. And, but either way, leaving from the warehouse, I drove past a place. Me and my dad looked it up because we went together. And like I looked it up because I drove by. I was like, man, this is pretty nice. Like I was like, it's new, but it's right there by Sugarloaf. You know where Sugarloaf is? Like the mall.
I haven't been to Swanee since I played a basketball tournament there in 8th grade.
Really, at the Swanee Sports Academy. Nice gym, right? Yeah. One of my favorite places they've gone when we go to tournaments. One of my favorite.
I mean, like, did you play basketball in Georgia if you've never been to Swanee? Come on.
Everybody's been to Swanee Sports Academy if you play basketball, for real. But we drove by, so I had to look it up. Now they had one bedrooms for 1,600 to 1,700, and it was a brand new building, looked nice. But you start talking about it was 650 square feet. I mean, so, but you could also get a 3-bedroom. Crazy enough, 3-bed, 2-bath, 2,700. I was like, you shitting me? I was like, that's actually a good fucking deal, even for out there. That's a good fucking deal. You get 3, especially if you got roommates. The room out there, brand new building, right by a mall. There's community out there, Swanee, Duluth. There's a community.
Yeah.
You know, there's stuff to do, I guess. And Atlanta's a hop, but you could do that hop. That's not that bad of a hop. Cartersville, though, look, driving back from Nashville, I passed Cartersville. Now, and I had been up there before. Cartersville's a little far. I mean, it's only 40-something minutes. Like, and this is at night, but it's 40-something minutes, but it's 40-something miles.
It's a long 40 miles. It's at the wrong time. Like yesterday when I was driving back, I left your parking lot at 3:23.
Mm-hmm.
It took me about an hour, maybe an hour 10 to get back. I mean, I made a stop in Kennesaw, so I'm trying to like cut out that time. I went to get me something to eat, but the Peach Path line started moving a little slow. I said, whoa. I ain't by this Peach Path to be in traffic. But from like South Marietta to like Kennesaw, it was like almost an hour in regular
Woodstock, traffic. I mean, people, because you got to think here, we're moving, that it's getting so expensive here. People are moving out. I've noticed it out in Stone Mountain that there's like a lot of like more traffic in these areas by my dad, like to where I was like, man, what the fuck did it start backing up back here like this at this light to where, damn, now I gotta wait 2 lights before I can turn because it's too much traffic and the light's not meant to handle this amount of people at one time.
Dog, it was so when we were in college, once I got to Kennesaw, I was done with traffic. Like you get to Barrett Parkway exit, pretty much you're done with traffic, right? You're just trying to get through Marietta, get past Andretti's and all that shit, and you're pretty much done. Now, the gap between Kennesaw and Ackworth, there's traffic, and I'm like, why is there traffic here? But I guess there's people who live off of 92 who are hitting 70 or hit 92, 75, and then making their way down to Atlanta. And I'm like, it's crazy. But I talked to a guy who's in real estate, and he's actually based out of Cartersville. He told me a year ago that Bartow County was turning into the new Cobb County because just from Fulton County getting so expensive, the battery becoming a thing. And I know that's technically Atlanta, but it's fucking Cobb County. It's making Cobb County more expensive. So the people who were city commuters from Cobb County are now getting that demographic is getting pushed to Bartow County. So I go, okay, now all of this stuff is making sense. Why there's traffic in Cartersville, why there's these apartment complexes going up at prices that don't make sense to the Cartersville economy. Well, they're not for the Cartersville economy. They're for
the Marietta.
Atlanta Marietta economy. But you know what? This is going to hurt Georgia in the long run, trying to turn back red. Because now you're pushing out your career, your more educated, career-oriented people, the ones who want to buy houses, who move to Atlanta for an opportunity, because they're going to start sprinkling into these districts that were red districts, and they're going to start adding some blue in there, and they're going to start making money, and they're going to start being taxpayers. They're going to start being people who are donating to campaigns and caring about what's going on in the city that they live in. And Georgia's going to like slowly become more and more blue sprinkled on the outside. And I think that is scary for the decision-making body in Georgia because, hey, guys, for those of you who don't know, Georgia is blue nationally, but we are very much red internally. Like our Georgia General Assembly, shit red as my goddamn shirt.
Well, and right, and that all is ultimately just Atlanta, really. That's blue. In reality, it's Metro Atlanta.
Metro Atlanta, Savannah,
maybe Augusta,
Albany, and possibly Columbus. I'm not even sure about Columbus, but I know Atlanta, Savannah, Albany.
Everything in between, though, for sure, red.
Your boy
it looks like a fucking polka dot, the way that we got that, like polka dots on some shit, you know?
I don't know how we got to politics talking about the finals, but
Dwight Howard and all this stuff, yeah.
So, what are you thinking? Denver in 6, Denver in 5?
5. Miami doesn't win a game in Denver, and the series is 2-2, 1-1-1. So they don't win one in Denver, and Denver ultimately wins one in Miami. So 5. That's my logic. That's the only reason I have them in 5.
I want Miami to win. I think Miami loses in 6.
What game did they win? You don't think Denver takes one in Miami?
I wouldn't be shocked if Miami takes game 2.
I like them on the spread for sure.
Jimmy might have that outer body experience where he has that 45 game that doesn't really make sense.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Jay Briggs? Yeah. He just commented. But yeah, I think he has an outer body experience. And maybe they snag one in Denver because like I said, I watched that game today, and Miami did not execute well until the fourth quarter, and they do something creative. And as we get into this Celtics talk, how nice was it to watch Denver and Miami execute great zone offense in the fourth quarter today?
Yeah, well, and like I told you, but that was the best part about it. That was, if there was anything encouraging to take away from Miami, it was the fourth quarter, because Denver kind of, I hate to say it, they were kind of doing that the whole game, right? So,
but like specifically watching the fourth quarter and watching them do the easiest thing that you learn how to do when you're 7, 8 years old playing basketball. Hey, if they're in a zone, get the ball in the middle, make them collapse, and hit shooters in the corner or cutters or weak side cutters. Dog, here's the problem with American basketball. Like, I get on here and I big up American basketball all the time. But I'm going to tell y'all something. I cannot stand the fact that American basketball has become so skill-oriented. Like, let me work on my bag. Let me go work out with my trainer. Guess what, man? You having a great session with your trainer does not make you a better team basketball player. You having the best handle, you having the best jump shot does not make you the best team basketball player. You can't learn how to manipulate a zone, manipulate offenses and defenses without playing basketball, right? Like you have to, we playing against the old heads. They don't want to run up and down the floor. Let's run. They're going to sit back in the zone. We only got one shooter. We can't shoot him out the zone, but know what we can do? Get the ball to the middle, mid-range, free throw, hit free throw line. Pump fake. You got him. Boom, one dribble. You got a 7.
Look, somebody just cut to the basket. Wide open layup.
Boom, layup. Like, we haven't played organized basketball in over 10 years. And we are explaining how to break down a zone, but somehow Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Al Horford, Marcus Smart. He didn't change his last name to Dumb. They don't know how to do it. And we saw the Celtics crumble.
And Joe Mazzulla's not smart enough to call a timeout and say, look, guys, obviously I can't fucking take you out because they're just going to throw my ass on the Bobby if I do. So can we just stop shooting threes and like go to the hole and dish and stuff? Like, okay, shoot the three if you're wide open, of course, but like, can we just stop coming down and 1-2 pass, shoot, and or fast break? Al's wide open, and Al takes his like kind of granny like threes. Like I don't know. So
that concludes hour one. We're going to open up hour two talking about the Celtics.